You wake up and technically you've had enough sleep. But even before your feet hit the floor, something feels heavy. Not in your body might be fine, it's your head. That strange fog that never quite clears, no matter how much coffee you force into your veins. By noon, you're powering through, answering emails, making choices, keeping up with the demands of your day. By evening, you feel wrecked. Not just tired, but drained. Like someone stole the battery pack out of your mind. This is decision fatigue, and the cost it charges isn't just tired eyes or a grumpy mood. It's your mental currency, the quiet tax on every little choice you make. You see, your brain loves to lie to you. It whispers, "Don't worry, you've got this. Just a few more tasks, just one more choice." But it's not infinite. Every decision, from what socks to wear, to how to phrase an email, pulls a tiny thread out of your mental fabric. At first, it's unnoticeable. But by the time the sun is setting, the seams have come undone and you're walking around with nothing left to give. You don't run out of time in the day. You run out of willpower. Think about how many choices you made today before you even left the house. Alarm snoozed or not snoozed. Shower now or later. Blue shirt or black one. Coffee at home or coffee on the way. Each one seems trivial. But the brain doesn't sort them neatly into small and big. It treats them all as decisions that require energy. Your brain is basically a bad accountant. It doesn't care if you just bought a house or picked a brand of toothpaste. The cost is still deducted from the same shrinking budget. Here's the eerie part. The exhaustion you feel by evening isn't just physical. It's not even laziness, it's a neurological debt. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that handles decisions, logic, self-control, gets overworked. And just like an overused muscle, it weakens. That's why by 7 p.m. you can't decide what to have for dinner. It's why scrolling endlessly through Netflix feels safer than choosing a single movie. And it's why you give in to habits you swore you'd avoid: fast food, procrastination, doom scrolling. It isn't because you lack discipline. It's because decision fatigue cashed out your discipline hours ago. Psychologists have studied this for decades. Judges in courtrooms gave harsher sentences to defendants in the late afternoon, not because people suddenly became more guilty, but because the judges were tired of making decisions. They defaulted to the easiest, least mentally demanding option: punishment. You do the same thing, not with prison sentences, hopefully, but when your brain is fried, you default to shortcuts, junk food instead of cooking, ignoring texts instead of crafting replies, saying yes to things you don't want to do, just to avoid the effort of saying no. Decision fatigue doesn't make you bad at life. It makes you predictable. And predictability is dangerous in a world that thrives on manipulating your attention. Your phone knows you're weak at night. Social media feeds are designed for the version of you that's out of mental fuel. Bright colors, quick videos, endless scroll. It's engineered to catch you exactly when you're too tired to resist. Marketers know this too. Supermarkets put candy and snacks at the checkout lane because by the time you get there, your brain has already wrestled with 100 tiny choices about bread, pasta, milk, and cheese. That last fight, the chocolate bar or not, is a battle you usually lose. You're not failing, you're being hunted. But let's go deeper. Decision fatigue doesn't just empty your tank. It alters who you are in subtle ways. Imagine your brain as a courtroom. At the start of the day, the judge is alert, listening carefully, weighing arguments. By the evening, the judge is slumped in the chair, eyes glazed, rubber stamping whatever's in front of them. That's you. And when your internal judge checks out, bad patterns sneak in. Overeating, impulse spending, the "I'll do it tomorrow" mantra. Even fights with the people you care about can trace back to mental exhaustion. Not because you're cruel, but because when your mental fuel is gone, your patience vanishes with it. Decision fatigue erodes the version of you that you want to be and replaces it with the version that just wants to survive the night. Think about your evenings. Think about how you end your day. Do you feel proud? Or do you feel like you collapsed into whatever required the least effort? There's a reason you feel regret at midnight, scrolling through meaningless posts, wondering why you didn't work out or write or clean or call someone you miss. The regret isn't just about the wasted time. It's about knowing your best self got smothered under the weight of 1,000 choices you didn't even notice yourself making. Here's where it gets darker. Decision fatigue doesn't just affect your mood or habits. It corrodes your sense of control. When you're too tired to steer, life starts driving you instead. You wake up each morning promising you'll make better choices, and by evening, you've surrendered again. That cycle, intention in the morning, collapse at night, quietly convinces you that maybe you're not capable of change. And that thought, that maybe you're just broken, is the most expensive cost of all. You're not broken though, you're overloaded. And overload has predictable consequences. Neuroscience shows that when your brain hits decision fatigue, it reduces activity in the areas that control long-term thinking. That's why you can set goals with absolute clarity in the morning, but abandon them in the evening. The mind becomes short-sighted. It stops asking, "What do I want in 5 years?" and starts asking, "What's the fastest relief right now?" That's why you binge, scroll, or buy things you don't need. It isn't random. It's your brain demanding anesthesia. And here's the sinister paradox. The modern world is designed to maximize your decision fatigue. Think about it. 100 brands of cereal, 20 different subscription services, notifications buzzing from half a dozen apps. Each tiny choice, each micro decision, seems harmless on its own. But together they pile up into a mountain that crushes your brain by nightfall. Your ancestors didn't face this. For them, survival was about a few vital decisions a day. Hunt or gather, fight or flee. But you're drowning in a sea of micro decisions, and you call it normal life. It's not normal, and that's why you're so tired. By evening, you've been asked to choose hundreds, maybe thousands of times, most of them invisible. Whether to open that email, now or later. Whether to respond politely or bluntly. Whether to check your phone or ignore it. Each one chips away at you, leaving the husk of a mind that just wants to shut down. But here's the strange part. You rarely blame the real culprit. You don't think, decision fatigue is draining me. Instead, you turn inward and whisper, "I'm lazy. I'm weak. I'm not disciplined enough." You confuse a brain taxed by an unnatural environment with a moral failing. And that's the cruelest trick of all. So what is the cost of decision fatigue? Not just exhaustion. It's self-doubt. It's lowered ambition. It's living smaller than you want to live. Because each night you collapse, you quietly rewrite your story. Maybe this is just who I am. But that isn't who you are. That's who you are when you're empty. Let's step into your kitchen at 9 p.m. You open the fridge. Leftovers from last night stare back at you. A bag of chips on the counter whispers a faster promise. Rationally, you know what you should eat. But rationality is an expensive function and you've already spent your budget. So you grab the chips. You don't even enjoy them, not really. But you eat them anyway because they don't ask you to think. This isn't about food. It's about the way exhaustion warps choice. By the evening, your brain starts prioritizing anything that reduces friction, no matter how damaging in the long run. Or take your phone. That glowing rectangle isn't neutral. It's a casino in your pocket. And casinos know when gamblers are most vulnerable, when they're tired. That's why you lose an hour or 2 or 3 watching videos you can't even remember. Not because you wanted to, but because the app was designed for the version of you that's too depleted to resist. And the more evenings you lose this way, the more mornings you wake up in quiet shame. Decision fatigue doesn't just rob you at night. It also robs your mornings. Because when you wake up already carrying regret, you start the new day with less confidence. And the cycle deepens. It isn't just energy that's drained, it's belief. The mental cost compounds. It's not just the exhaustion tonight. It's the erosion of trust in yourself tomorrow. So, what's the escape? Strangely, It's not about discipline. It's about boundaries. Some of the most successful people in history wore the same outfit every day, not because they lacked style, but because they understood the hidden tax of choice. Steve Jobs, Barack Obama, even Einstein, they preserved their decision-making fuel for things that mattered. But you don't need to wear a black turtleneck every day to reclaim your energy. You just need to recognize that every unnecessary decision you make is a tiny theft from your future self. Simplify where you can. Automate what you can. Protect your mornings like they're sacred. But even more important than strategy is compassion. Because if you're listening to this at 2 a.m., beating yourself up for being tired, hear this. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are human. And humans weren't designed for the constant flood of choices modern life demands. Your exhaustion is not a flaw. It's evidence of a system built to drain you. So tonight, when you feel that heaviness pressing on your mind, don't just label it tired. Call it what it is. Decision fatigue. Recognize the tax you've been paying all day and maybe, just maybe, choose not to make another choice. Turn off the screen. Close the tabs. Step into silence. Because tomorrow, your brain deserves to wake up with fuel. Not just to survive the day, but to actually live it. The mental cost of decision fatigue is high, but awareness is the first refund. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next.